So even as I sit out here in this swamp with all this garbage, it really does no good to have the attitude of self-defeat out here, because it certainly is discouraging. But to be able to sit out here and look at the beauty of this low-lying creek area of the natural habitat, less the debris, you know, what I can start to see is an ecosystem that gets revved back up again. Once the debris is gone, to be able to start to have canoe trails and kayak trails through here, because that's what's going to keep the awareness up in any park, is the ability to get recreation activities going out there and allowing people to see it. And the more people that do see it, the cleaner that it can be. The reason it's like this now is because nobody can get out here other than by canoe or kayak, and people just don't come out here. And you can see why. But with all the the global warming and issues that are going on in the world, places like this can't exist if we expect cooperation from Mother Earth to sustain us with everything we need, especially oxygen. So I can see what's possible in this swamp around me amidst all this debris, and so it's time to bring back the bayou. If left unmanaged and uncleaned out, this channel will grow in with mangroves and it will disappear. It's impossible for birds to feed in these type of circumstances. If they do try, that's what makes this program even more powerful, is that somebody's got to come out here and take a stand for that wildlife, because they can't clean it up. Look at this old dead palm tree with all the woodpecker holes in it. Can you see that? The hooded parakeet sitting in the opening. And people thought that they might make good pets, but it turns out that they never shut up. They screech all night long, and they turned out to be biters. You can't handle them because they bite so hard. So once they got here, they let them go, and they seem to be having a pretty good time of making a habitat out of that old Washingtonian palm. You can see where the alligator has crawled up in and made himself a nice little turnaround right here on this salt marsh grass island. Let's just hope he keeps to himself today. He's got a lot of food to eat in here. There's a bunch of... What we have here is a fiddler crab. Right there. And he's a beautiful specimen. Boca Ciega Bay, Tampa Bay, and eventually the Gulf of Mexico is being supplied with fiddler crabs from estuaries like this. What we stumbled onto here as we're wandering down through the swamp is what a lot of people refer to as a banana spider or a yellow silk spider, but it's actually a golden orb spider. And the way that you can tell is that when the light hits this particular web in certain times of day, it lights up like gold silk. And they say, you know, a couple of little tidbits about this rather large, if you can see how big that is compared to my hand. That's a good sized spider. They have, the only reason that one's still alive out here is because it has a self-defense mechanism in here. And what it does, it's got little tiny hairs on its forelegs and on its face. If you can zoom in, you can see those little tiny follicles of hair. So what it does for self-defense is it rubs those legs together and it gathers those hairs off its legs and off its face and off its body to its front forelegs. And when a bird or a predator gets close enough and tries to eat it, what this spider does for protection is it flicks those tiny little hairs into the eyes of the predator. And those little hairs are in the shape of a harpoon. So they only go in, they do not come out. So what essentially happens is those tiny little barbs go into the eyeball of the predator, and they start working their way back through the eyeball until that hair is dissolved. What it feels like to one of the predators, I imagine, is like having a piece of sand in your eye for a couple of days. So that's how this particular spider takes care of himself. And in regards to the strength of the web, they say that one single strand of this web in comparison to Kevlar is 10 times as strong. Can you imagine? Out here in a Florida swamp, something like that. Alive and well. Look at that. Now that is awesome right there. That's a snook. There we go. Oh. You know, that's the best part of the cleanup, is to sit and enjoy the nature. Well, back in the early days of pioneers, they used to use this stuff, this Spanish moss, to stuff car seats, pillows, and mattresses. And at night, on those cold Florida nights, the warmth of a human's body would cause all of the mites and all of the no-see-ums and bugs and chiggers to come out of the Spanish moss and seek the warm shelter, which of course is the human body in a bed. So, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite.